to explain the way we work, so so that the context or the notion of place and identity and the specificity of being here is in a way informing or also almost creating the architecture. So I don't believe that architecture is an object. It's it's deeply related to place, and I think that the architecture is almost, or the way we do architecture is almost kind of we try to make the place and the narratives and the understanding. I mean, it could be everything from climate to history that is informing, and it's always kind of a puzzle of all these things that are informing the architecture. So it's very specific. It's very specifically related to the site. The traditional role of the architect has been changing altogether the last 20 years, or when I've been sort of in the business. I think it's been changing from being sort of a one-person business somehow, So it was much more simple 20 years ago. It was about making a good house or good building, and now I think the collaboration between a lot of different fields and experts is really, really important, because architecture is becoming so complicated, and to actually be able to fulfill that challenge with climate change, with social inequality, with there's so many challenges that we have to face today, and I think it's extremely important to acknowledge that you need to be working in larger teams with experts from all kinds of fields to be able to solve these problems. When I was educated in an urban, in a department that was working only with urban challenges, and to me the urban has always been an interest, but the possibility, I guess, to work with landscape also as an emotional possibility has been quite wonderful. It's not often you get these possibilities to actually work in these vast and quite also quite harsh landscapes. So I think that's to me it's been a kind of a new thing, and also a liberation somehow. But what we try to do in the office, or the way we work, is mainly to try to find potential in the wider context, in the conditions and the geography and the climate, and also in the emotional sort of the narratives around a place. So when we work in landscapes, of course, the narrative of the landscape is more important. If you work in an urban context, it's much more the narrative of memory and events that has happened in around a place. Both working with the ice fjord and working with the well, I think to me it was how to relate to this landscape without I mean, how do you bring more into this landscape than is already there? It's beautiful landscapes, and how do you, in a way, create something that's cultural and still, are in balance with the nature, you could say. And when you work in a landscape, you need to somehow try to understand that balance between, culture and nature. So there's a parallel existing. And then I think what we try to bring back every time is to bring something that it's a meeting place. It's an open field for somebody to act. So with the Ice Fjord Center, the possibility of actually being able to walk on the roof is in a way creating a place in the big place, or it's a point of departure, or a point of return in this enormous, vast landscape. It's also a shelter. It's so in a way it's very humane. We're not trying to be part of the landscape. It's also a humane place in the landscape.